Hey guys, I wanted to create a little video just so that it would clear up any confusion about this particular Unit 3, the commercial evaluation. And I apologize for the way I sound. I have a cold. So if you click on Unit 3, you've got these three folders. Please make sure you go through and you read through everything in here. Definitely concerning drafting and word choice in your textbook. Definitely click on this link because it's going to talk about the different persuasive appeals that we use in general to argue for or against something or to try to convince someone of something. And this is also done in commercials. So you definitely want to click on that and read through ethos, logos, and pathos. And then this is an article in Forbes magazine that talks about how to evaluate advertising. So make sure you read through those. The writing assignments are listed here. The very first draft is the commercial evaluation. If you click on the instructions, you have to follow them verbatim. Follow them exactly as they are stated in this document. So if we're looking at, okay, what do I need to do here? What type of essay is this? It's an evaluation. You're going to basically judge a commercial. You get to choose the commercial you want to focus on. It can't be a series of commercials or a company by itself. It needs to be a specific commercial. So, for instance, if you're going to write about Allstate, an Allstate commercial, it needs to be a specific commercial that you can actually name. And that will be the focus of your essay, is trying to determine if it's an effective commercial or not. Your opinion alone is not evaluation. You have to be able to use examples, evidence, support from the actual commercial that supports you. So if we scroll down just a minute, what you're going to do is you're going to choose a commercial. There are tons. You could choose Super Bowl commercials. I know ASPCA has some really good ones. The Truth commercials, Allstate, Geico, State Farm, Doritos, Skittles. I mean, all those different companies have tons of commercials. So you need to choose one commercial that you think you can really write about and write about its effectiveness. Now, I have had students before who have written about, like, for instance, the Mountain Dew commercial. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Puppy Monkey Baby. Oh, that was like the worst commercial ever. But it did its job in a way because it kind of grabbed our attention and like we never forgot about it and we couldn't look away from it. But yet it wasn't a good enough commercial to be able to evaluate, to be able to write a 2-page paper about. So this is a 2-page paper, just like your memoir. It's going to be a 2-page paper, and you're going to evaluate a commercial, trying to determine what tools, what strategies did the company or the producers of the commercial use to be an effective commercial, to sell their product. And the commercial has to either sell a product, promote awareness of some issue, or sell a service of some sort. So make sure you look for a commercial like that. And you may want to really write about one, but then as you start kind of planning for it, you're like, I don't really have a whole lot to write about this, so I'm going to have to change it. Then change it. That's perfectly fine to do that. So like I said, you're going to choose your own commercial. Even if you don't watch TV or don't watch commercials, there are tons in YouTube. You can go and kind of type in a search and find lots of really neat commercials. One specific commercial, and you're going to have the 5-paragraph format for this type of essay. You're going to have an introduction. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, which is going to be the 3 criteria that you're judging this commercial on. What 3 things did they do really well that impacted their audience, making it an effective commercial? And then you have a conclusion paragraph. But I've listed right here different ideas to help you think of criteria for your body paragraphs. Does the commercial get and hold your attention? Does it create a desire to want to go buy the product? Is it believable? Does it make it relatable? Does it target a specific audience? Does it prove that a product or service is a bargain, maybe by comparing it to something else? Does it make it easy to buy and buy now? Does it have entertainment value? Now, of course, entertainment value might be tied in with what's up here, get attention and hold attention, because most of the time, if we're entertained, it holds our attention. The target audience is very important too. So if your commercial targets a specific audience, then you can pull in examples from the commercial. Also, does the commercial use ethos, logos, or pathos in any way to help support your criteria for saying that this is an effective commercial? You can also look at the 15 appeals in advertising PowerPoint that I posted in Blackboard for you that will give you some other different types of strategies that advertisers use in their commercials. Okay, now if you look, I'm going to scroll down, kind of go past this for a minute. Here are the basic instructions, 2 to 3 pages, full pages, 2 full pages. MLA format. It should be set up in MLA format. There is a video in this unit as well as the unit before, and even in the MLA folder in the course content section that tells how to set up an essay in MLA format. You should have 3 criteria. One can be from the list on the previous page, but or 2 of them can, and then 3 of them. 3 could be ethos, logos, pathos. You could just use logos and then discuss 2 others from the list. It's completely up to you on what your criteria is. But at least one of your criteria should be one of Aristotle's appeals right here with ethos, logos, and pathos. Most of the commercials that I've listed down here, I've listed some examples to go look at specific commercials. They all have all 3. So really you could do an entire essay about how the commercial uses logos, ethos, and pathos to impact their audience and create a really powerful, effective commercial. So some students like to use those 3 as their body paragraph topics, and then they'll give support of those. But you'll need to make sure you go look at that link in the resource file or the reading assignments file that shows what logos, ethos, and pathos means. You're not going to use first person. I know you guys just came off of writing the memoir. The memoir, of course, obviously is a personal experience, so you're going to use first person. But from here on out, there's not going to be any first person allowed or second person wording. Second person like you, yourself. We keep those out of there because it's typically considered to be informal writing when you use first and second person. So we're going to try to get out of that habit. So be sure to proofread for that before you submit your rough draft. And then as a part of your conclusion, you're going to end with saying basically summarizing your points and telling how the commercial is effective. There's grammar no-nos here as well. This is not an essay that's going to summarize a whole commercial. That should not be the purpose of this essay. The purpose is for you to evaluate a commercial, to tell your audience, me, why the commercial is effective. What did they do to make it effective and how it impacted their intended audience. So I've listed some ideas to kind of look for right here. There's tons more out there. Super Bowl commercials are usually really good commercials too. So you can kind of go back through the years if you want to and find a really good Super Bowl commercial. Beer commercials are also really good commercials, believe it or not. If you go to the next page, I have what's called a sample outline here. Now, you're not required to submit an outline for this essay, but I want to encourage you to create an outline with all of your ideas down because it serves as a roadmap to your paper. So for the very first part, you're going to have an intro, and it tells you exactly what you should include in an introduction paragraph. You need an attention grabber. You need to name the commercial. You need to describe the commercial that you chose and maybe give a little summary of it. Okay? And then you're going to give a thesis statement that's going to tell what your judgment is, which should say basically this commercial is effective because, and then you can list your 3 body paragraph reasons or criteria in that same statement. And then for each of your points, you're going to have a topic sentence. For example, I may say, this commercial uses pathos to impact their audience, period. And then in that whole paragraph, I'm going to explain what pathos is. That's when advertisers or companies are using wording and visuals and anything that could tug at the heartstrings of the viewer, could really get to their emotions, whether it makes them happy, sad, excited, makes them laugh. All those are different emotions. So I would definitely give specific examples of how the commercial does this to be able to prove my point that using pathos was, a good tool for this particular company in this commercial because it impacted the audience. So you're going to want to make sure you support that topic sentence. And then you kind of follow suit. You have a different paragraph, and please make sure you indent before each new paragraph. You don't skip lines between paragraphs, you just indent. And so you've got your second body paragraph that'll do the same. Don't say the same wording as the first body paragraph topic sentence. You want to change it up a little bit. So you might want to say, ethos is also used in this commercial to show the company's credibility, because ethos has to do with ethics, what's right and wrong, but also the credibility of the speaker or the presenter or the company. If it's a company that's been around for a long time, most of the time they're going to have a little bit of credibility and trust in them, because if they've been around this long, that means they're doing something right. So then you can give examples in there. You'll follow suit with the third body paragraph here and do the same thing with a different point. You want to make sure your 3 body paragraphs are 3 separate points of discussion. So again, it could be ethos, logos, and pathos. You can do all 3 of those. Those are all 3 separate. Or you could look at some of these, combine what you think might go together, and create 3 body paragraphs from this. It's completely up to you on how you do this, but just be sure that you are not blending ideas when it comes to your body paragraphs. You want to make sure, and that's the reason why I tell students to outline, to make sure that your criteria, they're 3 very separate criteria, so you don't find yourself repeating yourself over and over. And then you have a conclusion. This is again where you summarize the essay and your major points discussed. And then you want to end with some type of, a statement that gives your overall opinion of the commercial and whether you believed it was effective or not. But again, you don't want to use first person. You got to be able to word that in a way that does not use first person. Okay. Now I am going to post in Blackboard for you an example that I did with a seated class. And it was based on the Kmart Ship, SHIP, My Pants commercial, which I think is actually a part of your discussion board assignment. But I did want to show you kind of what we did as a seated class. We did it together on the board and created an outline for if I were to write an essay about that particular commercial and why it's effective. Now, no student should choose that commercial to write about because we are going to use it as a sample. But I just wanted to kind of throw this out there and kind of clarify if you had any question about what to do in this essay. But please be sure to look at the resource that I'm going to provide for you in a minute, showing a sample outline for the Kmart Ship My Pants commercial, and then make sure you view the samples and anything else that's in here before you actually start writing the paper so that you understand what's expected of you. Okay? Just stay tuned, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Have a good night.